different areas around here, but it's difficult to do that. I mean, I could add lots of walls as well to make this area look a bit more realistic, especially separating the hotels from one another, but again, it's just going to take a lot of time and effort, and I want to get onto the bigger things in Monaco. As I said, I want to finish this project by around March time if possible, and there's obviously the big part of the project still left to do, which some of you have guessed what it is, others don't know, so I'll keep it as a surprise for those that want to keep it that way. Hey Paddy, welcome to the stream, buddy. So some of these bigger gaps we're just going to fill in with trees. I am still using the map of Monaco to try and get some of the areas looking a bit more lifelike. Let's have a look. What can we put in this gap here? There's a lot of trees around here and there. So I might just leave it like that. So we'll leave some trees there. This lot here looks okay. Maybe we'll put another hotel in this segment here. Maybe this one. Do a double one here perhaps. Hey Sean, or Shan, sorry. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, good point. It was because I was gonna connect it up, and then I thought it would look a bit silly. So yes, good spot. Let's change that so they can actually go both ways. I was gonna connect it up here, but I think I'll just leave it as a cul-de-sac area here. Actually, can always put some car park spots here, can't we? In fact, let's do that quickly now. I don't like using these ones though. I'm hoping that this area will be used a bit more regular by the actual vehicles as well, because if you have noticed, the actual whole of Monaco is thriving now with people, which it hasn't done for quite some time. Okay, so we need to move that across. Is this the wrong height? Is that why? Let's get this, move this down. So we'll use the usual trick and we'll get the network terraforming out. This really does help when you do it right anyway. Okay, so let's move that around. Hey Daniel. Let's try and move that to the same height as that. And then let's... Okay, these really aren't working, are they? Let's leave that. And then let's go to there. We've got a little bank here actually, so that works out quite nicely to cover some trees. These networks are magic. They're really good, yeah. These are ones I've used a lot. And a little trick I did actually learn was when I was working on this little segment here, and to get that sort of that drop, I actually did use these network terraforming points to make the area, this, you know, the whole path of the actual stones look so much better than it would do normally, because it's going and following the contours of the network actual part itself. So that's, you know, it worked out really nice. I did that as well with the hills here. If you see, if I highlight nodes, you'll see that there's 101 different nodes along here, and I basically use the network terraforming networks to just adjust a nicer slope across, because sometimes it's hard to have nice looking slopes, certainly when it's against water. So that was quite a good little technique that I learned to make it come alive. Okay, so we're not really bothered about this car park. Hopefully there are cars parking here, which is annoying, but again, we can backdrop that. So where these planters here, these are really good. Will the city have a population of 38,000? When there is a mod, Paddy, that allows you to have more realistic population. So at the end, I probably will use it, because at the moment there is a lot of people. There's a lot of people around the whole area. I mean, for me personally at the moment, I'm loving it, because I've had probably 20 episodes where there's been hardly any person around here. So I will look at doing something with the population to make it more realistic, but at the moment I'm just happy there's more people walking around and more cars, because it's filling up the area, which is nice. Monaco in Irish is Monaco. Is it still said the same, Daniel? Is it still pronounced the same? But yeah, these from Lord Grunny are really good, because they do actually move to the contour of the terrain as well, which is really handy. Another Irish person. There is actually quite a lot of Irish people, isn't there, today? Which is good, you know. I'm all for the Irish. There's actually one place I want to visit actually, is going across to Ireland. Right, okay, so let's see what other buildings we can plop down. Where were we working? We was working here, wasn't we? So we need to make a bit more sort of some unusual shapes, which is a lot more common in Monaco. So I'm going to grab... See, these two are just two combined buildings that actually work quite well together. So I'm going to put one there, and then flip that one around. See, sometimes the buildings work perfectly together the first time you try it, and then other times they look rubbish. So you just got to play around with it, really. The Irish and Liverpool FC. What is the most supported Premier League club, would you say, in Ireland? Hey WEC, how are you doing, man? Welcome to the stream, buddy. God, that just hit my frame rate, didn't it? What's happened here? Something over there, possibly. That's weird. It's back again. Oh, it's here. Something here that's kicking the frames off. We'll see what happens with that. Okay, let's pick up some more buildings from over here. So we also got to think about the backdrop itself. So it has got to have realistic looking buildings across. We can't have too many high buildings towards the back that overtower the whole lot, which is obviously something we can't really afford to do. I asked if you've got the slope profile networks. Oh, I missed that. Sorry, Shan. I think I have. Is that what they're actually called? I'm guessing you're on about these ones, aren't you? Yeah. I was working. Well, I say working. I was helping out with the testing of some of these, and they do work really well. I think I've used some over the other side of the map, but I do want to put some more down in certain areas, especially like these little bits where you can't really do much with it. And it probably would be good to fill in some of these bits as well, but I think that's going to be too difficult and tight a gap to do that. There is something here that's really killing the frames, but it could be a number of things. Yeah, they are really good, aren't they? They're really, really good. I think they are one of those other sort of assets that people kind of, maybe not as many people know about it, but if they did, they'd realise how much of a game changer they can be. Can't do anything like this on Cities Skylines console. No, you can't, Paddy. That's the downside to it. I think a console would probably just blow up if you attempted to do what we do on PCs, which is a shame, but it's, you know, unfortunately the way it is with console gaming. Alright, just got to try and think a bit here. I think we'll just carry on this bit here, even though the frames do keep jumping from something here. Not quite sure what it is. Consoles are not fit for these sort of games. That's true, Free. That is true. Oh, you probably can, Shan. I've got yeah, my desktop WhatsApp PC thing is open. I'll close it down for you. What's your favourite vanilla DLC? That's a good question. Probably Mass Transit. I mean, there's elements of all of them that I use, you know, in my builds, so it's hard to define which one exactly, but I think that was the one that opened up the game for me a bit more, in terms of what I was able to build and achieve from. Consoles can be fun trying to build them over 6 City. You can if you... That's true, Paddy. I did actually have a little tiny play with Cities on a console. I think it was on an Xbox maybe when I was at PDXCon. Me, Skib, Rick 4000, and $2 attempted to play it. I think we played about 30 seconds each and then we stopped. Hey Seven, welcome man. Long time no see. How you been? Park Life. Yeah, Park Life did introduce a lot of amazing stuff and a lot of really good design assets as well, and trees, etc. There's some really nice stuff on there that I'm certainly using in Monaco as well as my other series. I mean, out of interest on the oh, it's here, isn't it? What is this? It's lagging. It's got. Hopefully, it's not these. Mass transit as well. Mass transit, Park Life, Industries. Yeah, I think those three are probably the better. Well, not I say better. They're all good, but in terms of what I was able to, benefit from them, some of the updates or DLCs even, I didn't really utilize as much as perhaps the others, and I think those three are probably the best. Satisfaction of 95% plus traffic on console is so much more satisfying than PC. Okay, yeah, I can imagine. Certainly imagine that. I'm thinking this is quite a nice block of area now. Perhaps we just go in now with some of the trees and foliage and see if we can make it look a bit more appealing. Maybe we do that. Let's give it a quick save and hope the game doesn't break. That's obviously one bonus of console gaming, isn't it? If you're going to save it, you don't have the issue of you don't have the situations whereas we do on PC where the game may suddenly just crash and not respond. Park Life added a lot to console too. That's good to know. I did wonder that the DLCs, if they were exactly the same as PC DLCs, or if they have to cut back a bit for that, but I'm guessing it's similar. Right, okay, we've got a save in, that's good. Alright. So, I mean, as I said, I don't want to be detailing a lot here, but I do want to cover some of these horrible masses of orange around. Game crashed a lot after campus update was fixed. Yeah, that is true. I think the last big massive updates haven't been anywhere near as bad as what they used to be, especially for the PC gaming. When you used to do it via PC and a new update came out or something, you used to not be able to play the game with mods for quite some time. You had to kind of wait it out and hope that it got fixed and the mods were updated enough, and things that we took for granted, well, we do now, back then was a bit more difficult and time consuming for it to be fixed. Side effects on mod, that's totally true. That is, Jan. That is the downside to it. Plus side is having an amazing game to play and doing pretty much exactly what you want to do. Downside is bad frame rate, things crash. You're relying on other people or other things to work. But yeah, I mean that's the style of the game, isn't it? For us, we all know that's the way it works. Hey Marcus. Okay, so I'm basically just going to fill all this area with some trees and trying to hide some of the ugliness that we have with the gaps. Just do something like this, and then we'll add a couple of... There's a random palm tree there. Okay, let's get a few of these down as well. Paradox should add some of the most popular mods to console. That's true. That is a good point. That could work, to be fair. I think we need to break up some of this pathway as well. So I'm just trying to take advantage of the sort of the trees and foliage that take up the most room but are less in terms of the quantity we're using here. So these shrubs are quite good because they do cover a larger mass and it's only one item we're putting down, which is handy. They added more to console and it was the most disappointing thing ever. Oh really? Oh, it's a shame. I know they are trying to put a lot of effort now into the console stuff. When I was at PDXCon, there's a lot of talk from the community people that's kind of trying to get more out of the console as much as they can. It's obviously there's limitations, and it was probably quite late to come into console based on how many years it was there on PC beforehand. So be interesting to see where it's going to head further down the chain as well. Let's just fill in some of these bits here. Like I said, I don't want to go over the top. I think already that's kind of looking a bit better now just by filling in these bits here. Seen leaks of Cities Skylines 2 bigger maps, countries are trading, no interesting features, most likely fake. Yeah, I think it probably is fake by now, at the moment. I don't think there's been much done at all. They're concentrating heavily on the game itself still, it seems. But there is that game which is meant to be coming out next year, the one where you build Paris up, which would be quite interesting. Not sure how it will compare or play compared to this, but we'll see. Mods are only on Xbox, not PS4. Oh really? I didn't realise that. I thought they were on both platforms. I suppose, oh yeah, I suppose because if you're not going to put it on the Switch either, are you? I'm guessing the Switch won't really be able to handle too much in terms of that. And what we can do in this bit here, put some shrubs here first. No autumn DLC this year, true. I think, well, we had those radio stations, I think, didn't we, last month or so, but yeah, it doesn't seem to be like there's going to be anything else for the festive season. Let's see what else we can put down here. Do we put some trees down here? I guess I should put something a bit higher up against this to hide that ugliness, shouldn't I? Mars official radio is the best one. To be fair, I've not really used or listened to the radio stations. Not because I don't think they're any good. I tend to listen to my own music and play the game like that. One City came to console at the same time as console. It's Christmas songs radio also count. Yeah, that was what I was on about, Paddy. Yeah, the Christmas Christmas songs. I think we might use those slope ones here. See if we can just get something stretched across there. Maybe the grass. Just want to fill this bit in to make it look less. Could probably do something like that. In the middle first. Can we twist that? It's a bit laggy here. Maybe it is these. I hope not. Okay, so that looks a bit better. We can work on this bit anyway. Oh, wrong bit. Let's get rid of a node. Let's put a few of the palm trees in here as well. I'm guessing that'll have to be the longer ones. Oh, that one. Cities Skylines game of the decade. To be fair, I think the game itself, the community it's built up, there's not many other communities that are as kind, I guess is probably one of the words I'm thinking of. Helpful. You know, the stuff that community gives back is, you know, is not really seen very often in the gaming industry. And that's I'm talking about us as game and players as much as I am about the actual creator of the game and the community in that respect. So I think it certainly has merits that are quite rare to find in other games. Or gaming communities, perhaps, is probably a better way to call that. Let's see if we can get this to work. Actually, we don't need to do that. Okay. We're starting to get some good skyline views now, which is good. And you see what I mean? Like, we don't need to do too much in terms of heavy detailing. I mean, if you looked over here, you'd be like, well, there's city spaces here and there, blah, blah, blah. But I think it's going to be fine the way we're working on it at the moment. I think what we'll do in these gaps here, we'll put some plants. And have we got any sort of park pre-assembled bits? Let's have a look. So people who only play on the consoles, do you still watch the modded community and how they build in terms of like following them on YouTube and stuff? Or do you prefer watching the vanilla series because that's what you are able to do? F1 Racing mod incoming. There will be some sort of a Formula One introduction. But unfortunately it's going to be more of a finale to the series. But yeah, I'm quite excited to start working on that, which is why I'm trying to get this backdrop done as quickly as possible. Once we've got a routine together, it should be easier. Just trying to see if we've got any parks that are kind of quite small and we could just plop in and save ourselves some time. Yeah, watching vanilla isn't as interesting. I can understand that, yeah. I mean, what's interesting is when, you know, I guess, you know, I'm classed as a modded player, clearly. But before all of these huge mods are in place, I mean, we were playing the game and cheating vanilla as best we could, but I think it's harder to cheat vanilla on a console as opposed to PC. There used to be sort of techniques you could do to get buildings placed where you wanted to. I mean, for example, when I'm guessing it's the same with console, but if we jump over to a random bit of land, if I was to put down a road like that, let's find a random building. Let's find this building here. So say for example I wanted this building, but the non-modded version, before move it, say I wanted the building to be up here somewhere. What you used to have to do is you used to place the building, you used to have to build yourself a road to the area that you wanted this to be, and there was no such thing as move it back then, so you had to then go back to the building, place it where you wanted it to. And for example here, the actual snapping point is on the left side, so I couldn't actually do that. So then I'd have to then go back in, draw myself a road across here, then get the building up again, place it there because that's where I wanted it to, and then you used to have to delete these roads. And then that was kind of the way you used to sort of place buildings before Move It came along, which was very annoying to do, but it was a technique that we all started to use because it was the only way around it. I prefer not playing with money for more creative realism. I'm the same, Paddy. As you can see, I'm minus 46,000 in debt, and I think all of my taxes are 0% and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm exactly the same. Hey, gaming. Right, so I think I might just leave this area a bit sort of grassy. Supercar Spots, how are you? Welcome. Alright, let's get some more of these trees down. Now, I like these trees because they take up a lot of the area for a single, placement, which is handy. It's also a good tree just to have as a sort of a filler, and then we can go back around it after and add some other ones on top of it to make it look a bit more realistic and not the same. So let's just do this area here now. Again, I want to avoid having too much of the orange ground. One thing I love about Monaco is the highest peak of the country is a swimming pool. Is it a... Let me have a look. What part is it? Free? Whereabouts? I'm just trying to have a look on Google Maps. The highest peak. Is it actually inside Monaco, or is it just outside? Because obviously outside is where the ground actually goes a lot higher up in its terrain. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Sports car, supercar. Consoles don't have a tree brush tool and a feature to walk or drive around your city. Okay, yes, I can imagine that's rather annoying at times. Yeah, I mean, I'm always moving around in this view. fact, I don't know if I would be able to play the game too easily without that. Okay. I'm just going to randomly add some of these bits in. In the border of the country, not the peak of the hill in France. Is it right on the very sort of right hand side free? Actually, I'm going to show you on here. Are you on about this bit here? Right outside of Monaco here. So I like all they got loads of like nice tennis courts as well on the very sort of top edge of the of Monaco. Because where's the border? The border actually no, the border's here, isn't it? Why did my comment appear twice? No idea, Paddy. When I deleted my damn, the river just demolished my city. Yeah, it's pain. I do hear the disasters are quite painful as well. When you're playing, I've got disasters turned off. I did have some fire issues at one point in the game, which I then found a mod to get rid of those, because that was rather annoying. That's your house. The swimming pool is bigger than my life. I can imagine a lot of stuff in Monaco is, you know, ridiculous in terms of its size and value. It makes you wonder, if you were living in Monaco, how you would sort of perceive other places. If if you was born in Monaco and Monaco's all you've ever known, it must be quite interesting going outside of Monaco, because it does seem like it's a very different sort of place to live, and very unique in terms of its people and infrastructure and what's going on. Must be quite an interesting scenario to be in. The water physics is really annoying, Paddy. That is one thing that I would love to have changed in the game, is the water physics. I don't know if you saw my tutorial I did for the network rivers on the official channel of Cities Skylines, but that took some time to work out, and I did actually use a lot of tips that Mac Welshman, the creator of the network rivers, issued, which is cool. We travel a lot. Oh, nice. So people in Monaco don't. I mean, obviously, it's. I could be saying the same for people who live in London or where I live, sort of thing. I'm guessing it all depends on your jobs and what you want to do. They're the highest life expectancy in billionaire. Yeah, I did read that, Paddy, when I started the project. I saw those stats. They're very interesting, actually. There's a bit of lag over here, which is a bit annoying. So Hawker, I assume I probably missed it, so apologies if I did, but I assume you are living in Monaco. How does this represent? How is the project going in terms of realism and the like? I always do like having feedback from people who actually live in Monaco, and I mean, that's one of the reasons I upload it to YouTube as well, really, just to see what people think. Hey, Maurice. I think someone actually did do a Monaco kind of build with vanilla, which was quite interesting to look at. Obviously extremely difficult to build vanilla wise. it's hard enough building it modded wise with some buildings created for it. Let's get some palm trees in. Not bad, look great. Nice, cheers man. Obviously this is not the bit to show off. These are the sort of areas to show off that actually are very similar replications of Monaco. So you've got the Grimaldi Forum, Japanese garden area. Where all the cars are all over. The cars aren't over here yet because I've only just built this area. But if you want to have a look at all the cars, they're all coming in up here. But yeah, Casino Square, one of my favourite parts of the build so far. Need to shade these bits in. For some reason, some of the orange ground is missing. The Monaco, well, yeah, the Fairmount Casino area as well. Monaco Yacht Club, which is really an amazing build that was. Obviously the harbour, which needs to be refilled again, going back to the point of the physics is quite difficult for water. The old town I think looks quite nice in the end. Especially now it's starting to get a backdrop as well. It's really slowly coming together. And I've kind of built outside slightly of Monaco, but you know, it doesn't really matter too much. I tried Cork one time, nothing like well-known one, but fun to do even on console. Yeah, definitely. I think it's nice also just to sort of mess around with places you know, or you know, a few areas that you think would be quite cool to build. Now I know I'm going overkill here in the palm trees, but it's just kind of what I've put together so far for Monaco. Obviously there are a lot more palm trees in Monaco than there are in the great UK, which is where I come from. Okay, so we're getting a bit of filling done now. Remember guys as well, if you're enjoying the video and the stream etc, do hit that follow button as well and subscribe to the channel. It's always good to have new faces in, especially if you found me via the stream. They can afford palm trees. I like making generic Irish or European cities, doing the best I can and can't. So definitely, it's always good to have a sort of a target area to build, isn't it? I think European, for me personally, obviously UK based is where I would always probably build. I don't know if I'll ever do a build outside of that region. Maybe one day, not sure. Good places France is Saint-Mary-de-Pie, wherever that is. When you say a good place, Hawker, in what sense? A good place to visit or build? I think I might fit another building in between here. No, I won't do too much. It's like I say, this is the backdrop, so it's more of a case of I wanted to get enough in that when you look from distances, you can kind of see them knocking around. Why did I pick Monaco? I wanted to try and build a whole country in Cities Skylines, and obviously based on how the game works when you play modded, it's quite difficult to build anything too big. So I thought Monaco was a nice location for that. No one had ever done a Mediterranean modded series, so I wanted to do something that no one else has done. So yeah, I think there's a lot of other reasons why I'm one of my ideas, which is what's led me to do this, was to build the Formula One track as well, which is going to be the finale of the series. I'm actually going to have the Formula One transformation being made in Monaco. So, and also there's a lot of unique buildings from Monaco, not just the sort of casino area, Casino Square buildings, but also in terms of the actual buildings themselves. I mean, if you look on the workshop before my series started, there was no Mediterranean buildings on there really. So I also wanted to do it in the sense of working with asset creators to make some Mediterranean buildings and build Monaco using them, and allow other people to then subscribe and use them themselves really. So there's a combination of that and a few other things as well. So yeah, that's kind of where it was, and not many people had done recreations of whole places, so I wanted to show that is possible. Obviously it's a lot more difficult, but it is possible. We need country city skylines. That would be very interesting. Finally found the name of the highest point, Chemin de Rivière, which is named after the street in France, but a swimming pool. Let's have a look then, shall we? Let me put that into Google. Let's see whereabouts that is. Oh, it's right on the very... Where is it? I can see lots of mini swimming pools. Oh, I think I found it. Yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it? I've seen a lot of sort of blogs in Monaco as well, obviously to try and get my head into the area. John Olsen is one that I've followed before, and his location is sensational in terms of the views that he gets as well. And I can imagine it's quite common in Monaco to have some nice areas to look around. Sorry, Maurice, I haven't got my translator with me today. If anyone can translate that for me, that'd be most useful. Let's give it a save. What will I do once I've done Monaco? Well, I'm also doing a UK series. I'm not sure if you're following the channel. I'm working on an area called the Isle of Wight, which is south of the UK, just below Portsmouth. So I am doing a UK series as well. So I think when Monaco's done, I'll concentrate heavily on doing that UK series, and then I will probably, I don't know actually, I'm not sure what to do after that. Open to some suggestions, but I probably will do a very small project next. Very, very different. He's basically saying that Monaco is beautiful. I'm pretty sure. Seb Denalia also has a great view over Monaco where he lives. Oh, nice. I'll have to have a look at that. Right, so I mean, it is when I'm building these bits here. Obviously, I you know, ideally, I'd want to be putting down loads of walls to separate areas, but it's just it's gonna be too much effort. I'm gonna put a wall around this area maybe. Will you do Liechtenstein? Gibraltar, that'd be interesting. He said it's pretty Monaco. Not only Monaco is great, but also, oh nice, okay. Yeah, Gibraltar would be good. But it's one of those things, isn't it? Because I'm already doing a UK series now with the Isle of Wight, you know, I might want to venture somewhere different. But yeah, I mean, these are certainly areas that I will shortlist. I think that would be a fun thing to build. Depends if I'm fed up of a UK build by that point. I certainly... I'm enjoying Monaco, but I don't think I'd ever do anything else similar to this again because I've already done it. You know, it's one of those things when you've done something, there's not really much point in doing anything else similar, is there really? Let's get some planters down here. So we've got some of these ones which we can probably put around, can't we? The Isle of Man, that's an interesting one. Gibraltar has a lot of Spanish influence. That is true. I've not done anything Spanish based before, so that could be an interesting one. Luxembourg. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good idea. I kind of want to find, I don't know really, like an area that has some really nice sort of roads and road layouts that are very unique and different to, you know, what you tend to see. I guess what I want is something small enough that I can detail heavily and it still looks finished. Because obviously when I finish Monaco, I'm going to have to consider maybe doing something very light in the very background to make it look a bit more realistic and flow together. Which I'm not too sure how far this backdrop is going to go. Sambur has a city kind of based in Gibraltar. Nice, yeah. Yeah, I like Sam's stuff. What am I doing here? What am we going to put down? Washington DC, first roundabouts in the world, an interesting road. I'm not sure if I'm cut out to do an American build. Banana Island in Courtois. Let me have a look at that. Now that would be a fun build. That would actually be a pretty cool, like, one-off quick build, wouldn't it? Well, I say quick build, obviously there's still a lot to work on, but that, I've never actually seen that. That's a really good idea. I'm going to add that to the shortlist, so thanks for that, Hawker. Dubai. Someone's building, or has been building Dubai. So I probably wouldn't do anything like that. Middle Eastern city, that'd be pretty cool. Canberra or Brasilia are planned cities, yeah. I think so far for, you know, if I'm thinking about what to do in the future, I think a project like Banana Island would probably be the next thing I work on. I've always wanted to do some sort of a tropical area, and that, you know, that'd be an interesting build to do. Town above Monaco, La Turbie, yeah. I mean, that, when you say build it supercar, that might be something we add into this anyway. So, unless that's what you're saying, in which case, yeah, that could well be what we do. Just down the road. Nice is nice. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I think it also depends on how detailed I want to go in the next sort of series. Don't know where all these random houses have come from. What's this? Nothing. Maybe a Hawaiian theme city like Lulu. Oh yeah, that's the sort of thing I'm thinking actually. Vladimir. That sort of feeling, you know, like this, you know, beautiful white sands, nice little hotels. That's what I'm kind of considering as a future build, I think. Obviously, we're a long way off here. This is going to be like next summer, really. Let's have a look at this place. No idea how we pronounce that. Oh, Kuwait. I saw you was typing it in the non-English way. Okay, yeah, Kuwait's a nice place, isn't it? I think there's been quite a lot of development going on there as well, isn't there? Something fun would be a small rural build like Ashbury and this. To be fair, Free, if you're watching my UK series, the Isle of Wight is very rural based as well, and that's kind of what I'm trying to throw out there with that build. I would load it up and show you now, but it will take probably about 20 minutes to load and close down the game. But yeah, that was kind of what the intentions were for the UK series, is doing something rural based and a lot more fields and trees rather than buildings, to really, you know, go the opposite way round, really. Okay, let's put some more of these trees in here. Rio de Janeiro, that'd be a good one. That's the thing, there's so many nice places to build. It's just finding that place that you can build and there's enough like assets on the workshop and bits and bobs like that. There's no point doing something that there's no buildings for, because it will just end up looking trash. I've never thought of doing an island project. That'd be quite a cool one to do, yeah. Or Scotland with all the highlands, with all the lakes and rivers flying around. That'd be pretty fun as well, I reckon. Especially now we've got those network rivers from Mac Welshman. That's going to really allow people to craft the areas up a bit better. I think waterfalls is one thing that would be nice to have in the game. Work realistically. You can't really do a realistic waterfall. It's kind of, you just gotta hope that it looks good when you build them. If you did Hawaii, then you could add Pearl Harbor inspired naval base too. That's true. Everyone wants naval bases built, don't they? I was thinking of Iceland or something like that, because I did do a mini sort of Icelandic sort of build a while back now with some springs, hot springs and that sort of stuff. That was quite fun to build. Yeah, Nordic City, that sort of thing would be pretty fun, I think. Is that the capital? I assume not. Let's just throw a few more of these bits down. Just try and cover up some of this orange ground. I think we do need to put a wall around it, don't we, really? Greenlandic City, Geneva, Bern would be interesting. Yeah, that's true. Do you use the no problems mod? I'm impressed. No, yeah, Peter, I do use the no problems mod. I'm trying to build a town, but I can't get away around the problems popping up only when I'm building vanilla. Yeah, you need to get yourself some of the problem removers mods. That'll certainly help you out. Yeah, I don't have any because I've turned them all off. Otherwise it'd be a mission and a very difficult situation to build on. Australian Swiss Alpine Village. Skiing one would be quite good, wouldn't it? A snowy sort of one. We'll build a city with all of them merged into one. That would be quite fun. Building something that has a bit of everything combined. That'd be an interesting build. It'd be hard to get it all to work together, I guess. Right, I'm just going to grab a few of these palm trees again, but I'm not going to go over the top this time. Do a few little clusters here and there. Just want to put these in the thicker areas. God, I think I might actually do that for a laugh at some point, is actually take off the mod for all the problems and to see how bad. I don't think you'll be able to see much of the build. There'll be that many problems that you'll just see problem after problem. You won't see any of the actual buildings. $2 to 20 to the Middle East city with someone. Yeah, that was with Skibbith, I think, if you're on about that one. That's a really good series. Really enjoyed that. And they're both very nice people. I got to spend a lot of time with both of them. And Rick 4000, who does the majority of the UK assets on the workshop alongside Mac Welshman. I met them, all three of them, at the Paradox show, which is really fun. So I think that looks a lot better as a backdrop now. If you're looking from this angle, which is, you know, where you would typically see this. It looks a lot better. Do a village skylines. That would be pretty fun. Let's give it one last save. I'm probably going to end the stream very shortly. Just wanted to get a bit of detailing done so I can then do some editing and hopefully get this video out for the weekend. But before we finish, let's save it, and then I want to do a quick run through of the actual gameplay footage and see how many cars we get in this area. Village Skylines, I do like that. Very good, Paddy. Okay, right. Let's play the game. Well, simulation. Let's see how long it takes people to come up into this area. I'm going to add some of the... Actually... Favourite game besides Skylines? Good question. Oh no, why is it doing... Why is it doing the building thing? No, why is it doing that? These should all be Rico, I thought. Okay, we'll have to sort that out. Let's just let it build for now. Ignore those. Favourite game besides Skylines? Well, to be fair, Skylines is the game that I play, I'd say 70% of the time. Other than that, I am playing the new Call of Duty on the Xbox though. PC game wise, I don't play a lot of other stuff really. I used to play a bit of the old Football Manager back in the day. But yeah, there's not a lot PC wise I play too much really. Certainly building games anyway. Okay, so this has all gone tits up here, isn't it? Because it's, I need to get, one of my mods is obviously turned off here because these should not be upgrading. So I think, luckily I saved it beforehand, so I'm not going to save it again. So I need to change that so those buildings don't upgrade. But yeah, I think guys, that's probably going to be it for today. Thank you all for popping by and saying hello. Like I said earlier, if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. And like I said, I'm going to try and get the next video of Monaco out for this weekend. And we'll probably continue the backdrop over this segment as well and just try and build out as much as we can over the next few months, and obviously do a bit more on the UK build as well. But yes, I think that's it guys, and also please do hit the like button as well if you are watching and you enjoyed the little stream today. Apologies it wasn't as long as perhaps I normally stream, but we've been going for an hour and a half now, and it's more of a test. I wanted to make sure that the stream still worked, and I'm going to do some more streams over the Christmas break as well, because I'll have a week off from my job, which is always handy. But yeah, hope you all have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, wherever you're watching from, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching guys, and all the best.